Welcome to solverfy.
Okay, so this question wants us to consider multi-slit diffraction, where light is going through a lot of slits, and we want to look at how the intensity pattern changes based on the angle theta. So there are a lot of variables here. So to make things easier, let's just keep track of all of them. So n is the number of slits, and how many do we have? Well, it says we have 10,000. D is the spacing of the slits, which is 10 to the minus fourth. Lambda is the wavelength, which is 632.8 nanometers. And that is all we need for now. So now we can sub this into K, because we know that K equals ND pi sine theta all over lambda. And we can plug in all our known values here, and we're just left with a function that depends on theta. So we get that the total light intensity coming from the grating is the integral from -10 to the -6th to +10 to the -6th of I of theta d theta. And that's equal to the integral from -10 to the -6th to 10 to the -6th of n squared times sine of k of theta over k of theta all squared d theta. And we know how to calculate k of theta because we have known values. So let's call this whole function I of theta, now that we know what we're subbing into. So it wants us to use midpoint with n equals 10. So our delta x is just, well, we're ending at 10 to the -6th, and we're starting at 10 to the -6th, but a negative version. So we get 2 times 10 to the -6th divided by 10, which should give us 2 times 10 to the -7th. So our integral should equal delta x times f of delta x over 2 plus f of delta x over 2 plus delta x plus dot 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 all the way up. So we should get that our I of theta should be 2 times 10 to the negative 7th times I of, well, delta x is 2 times 10 to the negative 7th. And this formula is assuming that we start at 0, but we don't. So it's negative 10 to the negative 6th plus 10 to the negative 7th, which is negative 9 times 10 to the negative 7th plus I of negative 7 times 10 to the negative 7th plus dot 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 all the way up to the final I value, which is 10 to the minus 6th minus 2 times 10 to the negative 7th. And if we plug all these values into our calculator, I'd suggest using a table or a calculator program, we'll see that in terms of n and k, our answer turns out to be about 1.2 times 10 to the 15th n squared over k squared. And you can evaluate this out if you'd like, but the book leaves it in this form, so that's what we're going to write it as.